So here we are talking about a movie that came out. Well, it's not even a movie. This would have been a TV show. This would have been a half an hour special back in the day when the three major networks of the day actually used to put on animated specials that were relevant to the holiday in question. And this time we're talking about the 1985 TV special that's based on a Garfield comic strip, and that is Garfield's Halloween Adventure.
One of my top 3 favorite Halloween-themed cartoons ever. It's actually number 3 on my list. Well, since you all, I'm sure, are extremely curious, I'll give you my whole list. So number 3... Garfield's Halloween Adventure. Number 2, It's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown. And number 1, my all-time favorite Halloween cartoon, Disney's The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. So I think we hit the other two in previous episodes.
I think we've done them. Well, no, we didn't do them in that order. We did Charlie Brown first, and then we did Legend of Sleepy Hollow last year.
There's a few others now that go into the 4 and 5 categories. Actually, the SpongeBob episode, I don't know if you got a chance to see it, but that was actually really good, the Halloween episode. The first SpongeBob Halloween episode, I think there's been a few since then. But this one, Garfield's Halloween Adventure, I don't know if I remember correctly when the first time I saw it was. I don't know even if I saw it during like a special, like back in the 80s, they would do the Halloween specials on network TV. Obviously, like Charlie Brown, they still do that. Speaking of which, I wonder if they're going to play it this year. But anyhow, usually like one of the network channels will play the Halloween specials. And back then, Garfield's Halloween ended up on, in the 80s on whatever channel was playing it. And for the kids, for their 30-minute Halloween fun. And I don't fully recall seeing it then. I think actually the first time I saw this episode was probably because Garfield had a TV show every Saturday in the Saturday morning cartoons, and it was I think it was called Garfield and Friends, and I think I saw it there. I think they played it there, it's just part of a regular rotating episode. Because I don't remember sitting on in the evening watching it on Halloween night or anything like that.
Yeah, it used to be paired up actually with your favorite Charlie Brown, or your second favorite. Yeah, it used to be way back when it first came out. It was paired up with Charlie Brown.
Okay.
Because I don't remember if Garfield had that Saturday morning cartoon on quite then or not, but which is a different subject altogether. I mean my kids never got up on Saturday morning and watched cartoons. I don't even know if there's even cartoons on really at all on Saturday morning on anything. Even if you have Cartoon Network, I don't even know if they play cartoons anymore on Saturday morning.
Yeah, that's funny you say that, because I remember I used to watch Saturday morning cartoons with my kids. We would watch SpongeBob, or they brought back He-Man. We watched that for a little bit. They brought back Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I used to watch that with them. Back in the 80s, in the late 80s, I remember getting up in the morning watching, the Saturday morning cartoon thing on whatever channel. There's maybe 3 or 4 channels that had them all the way up till noon or whatever. And I remember Garfield and Friends was on one of the channels, and this Halloween special somehow was played on that. And I think they I don't know, maybe they just didn't have, they just used it as a regular episode.
Well, probably, yeah.
It's so special. What do you think? This is actually a really, really, really well written Halloween short. It's really good. It's the theme is basically it's Halloween, and Garfield and Odie are going to go trick-or-treating, and they go up into the attic and find some costumes. They go out trick-or-treating a lot, and there's some really good animation, some really cool Halloween-y trick-or-treat scenes. I always, with these cartoons, I always like that if they can really capture the feel of Halloween night where it's dark and you get all these costumes on, and like Charlie Brown really does a really good job of that. You just really feel like you're in the holiday when you're watching that show, and you see them wandering around on the streets in the neighborhood and all that. It brings you back to. I think they did a good job with those scenes. A lot of the dark and the blue colors and the cool monster costumes and everything. And they also have some pretty good songs too. A lot of these, they did a lot of those musical type things back then, and they have some pretty fun songs like "What Should I Be" and the Scaredy Cat song. It's another good one. And you could playlist if you've got your Halloween jukebox going.
It's funny. This came out in 1985.
Third grade. We were in third grade.
And this would have been back before the term Easter egg was really popular. But I remember even watching it now, and every time I see it now, and it still gets me, is when they're out trick-or-treating, and they're walking, and Garfield's being Garfield, so he pulls the mask on the one kid back and snaps it on his face, and they get it to the second kid, and the kid's got a gargoyle mask on from the Smurfs, which is a completely different cartoon, and he pulls it off of the kid's face, and then it's Gargoyle underneath there, and you're like, that's Gargoyle!
Is that him?
Well, I don't know if it's him, but I mean that's the character,
I'll have to look at that again. I can't remember that. I know the scene you're talking about, but I didn't put that together that was Gargamel. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too. I probably never caught it when I was a kid, but then now watching, I'm like, oh, look, it's the guy from the Smurfs. That's amazing. That's too funny.
Yeah, that is funny. Yeah, I have to check that out again because I didn't catch. I know the character you're talking about, but I without seeing it, I can't in my mind say, "Oh yeah, that was Gargamel."
And the other thing with this one too, which goes back into pure Garfield territory, but you kind of skipped over when you're talking about the premise of this particular show is Garfield and Odie are going trick-or-treating. But Garfield and Odie aren't going trick-or-treating because Garfield and Odie want to go trick-or-treating. Garfield and Odie are going trick-or-treating because Garfield has figured out that if I drag Odie with me, Odie will have a bag of his own that he will collect candy, and then at the end of the night, I will get to take Odie's candy.
Absolutely, yeah. He's totally focused on getting double bags of candy.
And like I was saying in a previous episode, I think we were talking about, or maybe this was something off air, but I think it made it onto an episode. But you have to go to these hoity-toity towns when you're doing your trick-or-treating, and you can just go and fill up a bag and go dump that out, and then go back and fill it up again, and dump it out, and go and fill it up again. It's kind of funny, too, when you're talking about trick-or-treating, now that we're older and our kids don't trick-or-treat anymore. I've gotten to the point where I'm trying to think of a way to still go out and trick-or-treat without trick-or-treating myself. I saw a video online a couple of times of, some guy that had this, little, 3-foot, mannequin kind of thing, in a Spider-Man costume or something, with a bag, and he would, put it in front of the door and then ring the doorbell and step back and then be like, oh, he's really shy.
That's a great idea.
But then the other thing I was thinking about, because I don't really need the candy, but the trick-or-treating aspect I always thought would be kind of fun to do. How creepy would it be if you're just a middle-aged man just out walking around when other people are out trick-or-treating?
That would be really cool, actually. I think we should do that. Why don't we go trick-or-treating this year?
Let's do it.
You and me, let's just do it. Let's just pretend we're middle schoolers or something. If they ask.
You'd have to get a mask on. I mean,
we'll have masks and costumes and everything, so we'll just walk to the house, We'll just, if they ask, hey, are you, what grade are you in? We'll just say 7th.
But we can't be hey, I'm in 7th grade. Let's be I'm in 7th grade.
Exactly, and we won't take our mask off, so we won't show our beards. So that'll be the key thing. Just keep your mask on the whole time, and we'll be okay. We'll walk away all right.
And my white beard, yeah.
Yeah, nobody will see it.
Okay, yeah, I think
that's a great idea. That's a really good idea. I want to do that now. I want to go trick or treating. It's been too long. My kids are too old now. Nobody goes trick or treating anymore. Let's do it. Let's hit up your town, and then we'll hit my town too.
There you go. We'll just do them both. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll find a place in the middle and just like randomly some place by that movie theater that we always go to.
It was funny because somebody the other day was talking about we were doing something, and like an older kid was like, "Oh, you should go trick or treating," and like a couple of the people that were there were like, "Oh, you're too old," and I'm like, I didn't say anything, but I'm kind of thinking like, that'd be awesome. Can I come with? I don't even care about the candy. I just want to come with because it was always fun, like just walking around.
Oh yeah. I mean, and I've got more costumes now than I've ever had. So I could be Michael, Jason, or, well, I'd have to get a Freddy mask. I got a really good glove.
Oh, you should just totally put a Michael Myers mask on, put the hockey mask over it, and then wear the glove.
There you go.
And just confuse the hell out of people.
That would be cool. But this film, or this TV special, I guess we could call it, and then it leads to, after the trick-or-treating scene, they're looking for, another place to go get candy. Their bags are full, and they find this house on an island. And so they take this little boat, and they go over there, and there's this old man in there. And the old man, once they get in, they like go inside the guy's house, which you're really not supposed to do when you're trick-or-treating. You don't go in people's homes.
Yeah, don't do that. That's a bad idea.
But the old guy tells them a story about like he was a cabin boy, and like these ghosts came into this, or these pirates, came in and hid this gold in the house and like underneath, and like they're gonna come back and get it. And then they say like, how many years later would they come get it? Was it 100 years or something, probably, or something like that? But they were going to return to get the gold, or the treasure.
Like that, yep.
And it's buried inside the house that this old guy lives in. So it just so happens that this night is the night that these ghosts are going to return. These pirate ghosts are going to return to go retrieve their candy. And this episode gets really good, and it's actually pretty creepy. And I remember my kids were, especially my youngest, was pretty freaked out with the ghosts, especially the scene where like the kids are, or like Garfield and Odie are hiding in like the cupboard or whatever, and then the ghost like sticks its head inside. Like I remember my youngest would always cover his eyes during that scene. It was always just too much for him. It actually, I know you and I had talked about it a little bit, but this goes back to our thing, our like little shtick with the show, is everything leads back to John Carpenter, and this particular show was actually very much reminiscent of John Carpenter's The Fog. The whole idea like behind The Fog is like, these ghosts come back to this town and they're seeking to get their gold back because they, and all. It's pretty much the same story, really. I don't know if like the writer of this Garfield show like watched The Fog a couple times before writing this, and then like, oh, let's put that in a Garfield episode. But it's very, very reminiscent. And I think the ghosts are really well animated, like especially the scene when Garfield and Odie are running down the dock, and then like the ghosts are chasing them. It's just it's that vintage classic Halloween ghost animation that just gives you that kind of nostalgic feel. Like, oh yeah, that's reminds me of being a kid with a bag of candy watching TV, carving a pumpkin.
This came out 5 years or so after The Fog came out. And this, of course, was written by Jim Davis, who is the creator of Garfield. But I wonder, thinking about it now, if this wasn't sort of him doing almost a John Carpenter kind of thing. Maybe he was up late one night, had a couple too many beers, maybe he had a whiskey, and, he had just got done watching The Fog and was like, oh man, I have to write a Halloween-themed special for Garfield.
Right.
Oh, that's a good idea. I'm going to take that one and animate it.
Yeah, it probably was.
Because it really does resemble The Fog. I mean, if you would have, back in, I could totally see this happening, thinking back on the early to mid 80s, some TV executive going, hey, that movie was successful. Let's animate it, and let's make let's put Charlie Brown in there, and let's put Garfield in it, and let's put the Transformers in there, and let's do something with it. And, that was a good movie.
Oh yeah,
because it is almost identical. I mean, really,
it really is.
You're just missing Tom Atkins, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Adrienne Barbeau.
Pretty much, yeah. It's the Fog with Garfield. So you can change it to Garfield Halloween Special to Garfield in the Fog. Are there any cats in the fog? I don't think there are any.
No, I don't think there was any cats in the fog. No.
Bummer. But
especially not any fat orange lasagna loving cats.
So Garfield gets back in his boat. Rose back home. I think the boat breaks, and then they almost drowned, and he saves Odie, or Odie saves him. They get back on shore, and Garfield, his heart softens towards Odie, and he gives him his bag of candy. And then they get back into the house, and Pennywise the Clown shows up on TV.
Well, Binky was on at the very beginning of the episode as well.
That's true, yeah. So we've got that connection there too.
And this is a thing that I am very curious about. So this would be something for people to write in on. And I say write in. You look us up on Facebook or, well, yeah, I guess Facebook really is about the best way to get a hold of us. For folks that lived outside of the Chicagoland area when they were kids, did you guys have access to Bozo the Clown? Because I mean, I don't think in the 80s and 90s that WGN was a national station, and I don't even know now that it is a national station. I guess I don't even. Is Bozo still around? I mean, is there?
Well, the guy who played him passed away, and the guy who played Cookie passed away. So I don't think the show still is going on to this day. I think it's over. But
if I'm not mistaken, the guy that played Bozo when me and you were kids was like the second or third one, though. Correct?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. But you're right. Yeah, that's kind of weird that you make that comparison too, because like the idea of like this local clown guy is really a Chicago thing. It's not like you would go to Los Angeles and there'd be like the LA clown. But it's kind of it's kind of funny too, because I work in Wisconsin, so I talk to people who are from Wisconsin for the most part. Most of everybody I deal with, people that live in Wisconsin, like none of them, or like the ones, I don't bring it up all the time, but somehow when in conversation, if it ever happens, because I had my Svengoolie doll open in my office for a while, people would ask what that is, and I'd explain it, and they would always, if they're not from Chicago, they don't know who he is, but they know who Dr. Destruction is, who is like the Kenosha, Wisconsin version of Svengoolie. But I don't think there is like a Bozo in different cities. There's not a Milwaukee version of him. That's really interesting. We'll have to look that up.
Yeah, that's why I just wonder if it's one of those things where just everybody knows who Bozo is. Because I saw a thing the other day, a guy that I know that makes T-shirts. He had a reference, they were both Chicago references, really, but he doesn't live anywhere near Chicago, but he makes T-shirts, and they're kind of morbid T-shirts, but the T-shirt said, Bozo in the streets, Pogo in the sheets, which, of course, is, Bozo the Clown, and then John Wayne Gacy, which,
nice.
Again, those are both, like, Chicagoland area references, so I don't know if he knows who Bozo is, just of some weird thing where he lives at, or if he's from Chicago. I mean, it's just one of those things and I should ask him, like, hey, how do you know who Bozo is?
Yeah, right, exactly. I guess Bozo might have been like from Chicago, but he might have been, his notoriety must have stretched across state line. I think like maybe that's just how popular he was. He was like, oh, it's that Chicago guy, Maybe, I don't know, maybe he made the rounds on the news or something. Who knows? Yeah, so who is Binky the Clown? But then, like, The Simpsons had a character, didn't they? They had Krusty the Clown.
Yep, exactly.
So apparently clowns were, like, sort of a thing.
But it's kind of the same thing, again, because we don't live, well, in the Chicagoland area, but we grew up in the Chicagoland area, and that was normal for us. So when The Simpsons started in 1989 or whatever, and we saw that character, we're like, oh, hey, Krusty the Clown. Oh, yeah, it's just like Bozo.
Right.
That's normal. And never thought anything of it. So I just wonder if you're from, like, you like L.A. or New York or something, you're like, a clown show? What the hell? What? That's weird. To whereas now it might be normal because of, like, The Simpsons and stuff, but Garfield came out in 1985. That was long before The Simpsons were ever a thing. So I always kind of wonder where, like, that Binky character came from.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Because the most recent time when I watched it, at first that's the same thing that I was thinking of, was like, oh, weird, it's Pennywise the Clown. And then after watching it for a minute, I'm like, oh, no, wait, no, it's Bozo. It's Bozo the Clown. And just like, oh, that's completely normal. And then after thinking about it, I'm like, no, I don't think that's normal. I don't think Bozo's normal. Maybe it's normal, or maybe it's just one of those things to where you just like assume it's normal. I mean, like, I don't know. It's just a thing you just grew up with. Like, oh, it's Santa Claus or Easter Bunny.
Yeah,
Bozo the Clown.
Right. Yeah. So who is Binky, and where did he come from? Was he a Chicago-based clown, or was he syndicated? We'll never know, I guess.
And was he killing kids under the studio?
Yeah, that's a good question, too. But anyhow, with Garfield's Halloween special, I give it a massive amount of thumbs up as, like, one of the best, obviously my top 3 Halloween cartoons of all time. So if you got kids, or if you don't have kids, you got to toss this one in. I actually have this one on DVD with the not so good Thanksgiving and Christmas episodes on the disc as well, which pale in comparison to the Halloween version.
And if you don't have kids, come trick or treating with me and Mark. We're gonna be up doing the 40+ trick or treating special this year.
I think we should do that. I totally think that at age 40, trick or treating is totally acceptable.
And what we're gonna do is, so I don't know if this is a thing around your house, but I know this is like becoming more popular in my area. I've seen a couple of things in the past, and then actually I just saw a thing a couple of days ago. Somebody making adult trick or treat packages to where it's like a shot of like booze.
Well, there you go.
And whatever, some other stuff. So we should be like, hey, trick or treat. And they're like, oh, here you go. Here's your Snickers or M&Ms or whatever. And
here's
then
your can of Pabst.
And then, like, oh, and for the adults, there's blah, blah. And then we'll just rip our masks off and be like, what's up, dude? I'm 40 years old. Give me that.
There you go. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Well, let's do an episode on our trick or treating and how well we did.
We totally should.
We absolutely should. 40 is the perfect age to trick or treat, in my opinion. Wait, are you 41 now, or are you 40?
No, I'm 41 now. Thanks for bringing that up, dude.
You're above. You're above the 40 now. Oh my goodness. Oh, you had a birthday recently, didn't you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, happy birthday!
Just a couple of days ago.
So no horror presents?
Nope, not at all. Nope.
Oh, bummer.